all students, whether they're typically developing peers or students with special needs, everyone needs to have an inclusive education.
BLAST stands for Building Lifelong Academic Skills Together, and it's an inclusion preschool program. So we have 8 general education students in our class and 7 students on IEPs.
We are all a classroom family where we get to support each other, and we really build on friendships and social skills and that basic turn taking and just being kind to everyone.
We find that the less transitions children have to endure throughout their school day, the better. Our occupational therapists, our adapted physical education specialists, our speech language pathologists are all cycling in and out of the classroom to provide those support services, which benefit not only our children who are attending the program with IEPs, but also our general education community friends too.
Everybody in preschool needs to learn to take turns and to write, hold a writing utensil, to color, to sit down.
Miss Veronica is our speech therapist here in Bonita Unified, and she pushes in on a daily basis into our program, and she sees all of our students, and our groups are set up with typically developing peers, and then our students that also receive IEP services as well.
I'll never forget my first couple sessions. I walked in and I became part of their routine, and it was just magic. And that's what I really love about our program, is that we just integrate these services on the daily. We're working on that social communication. We talk about different actions like pouring and mixing.
Our students with special needs get that wonderful peer modeling.
You need the peer models. I think it's the most beautiful, beautiful piece. It's just the empathy that comes from the students to each other.
The practices that have worked really well in my classroom is using lots of visuals, using a lot of auditory cues. I have a classroom visual schedule. We have individual visual schedules for our students to kind of help them navigate the classroom setting.
What really worked for our district, which was really critical at the time of our inception of the program, is that we did bring together a group of stakeholders, and we created a committee, we created a task force, and we made sure that those folks on that committee all kind of represented different elements.
We found some districts that had basically the foundation of what we wanted to build, and we went to go view those programs. We spoke with those districts. We kind of learned from them of how they started, and then we kind of took our own take on that and built our program from there.
We have a fee-for-service program, so the general education students are paying tuition, and that can offset some of the costs of additional staffing for your class. There's lots of ways to do this that can work for your district.
Researching what kind of funding could be available to build a program would be crucial, because that's always one of the major hurdles, is how do we fund a program like this?
The more you can include the school community and be integrated into that community, the better off you'll be.
We have been able to maintain consistent wait lists for our community buddies or our general education peers for our BLAST program, because word of mouth, people hear about what a wonderful program it is, and we have that community buy-in. People want to enroll their child in our inclusion classroom setting.
My advice would be, don't wait. You need this program.
We're supporting inclusion of all children, all families, and it just in and of itself makes for a beautiful program.